My beloved child, this moment is not an accident. This message did not come before your eyes by chance, and it did not reach your heart because of a random movement of your hand. I interrupted your ordinary hour because there is something before you that must not be treated as ordinary. I have been calling you gently, again and again, through the unrest in your spirit, through the repetition of a thought you cannot escape, through the door that seems to keep appearing in front of you even when you try to look away. Listen to me now with the part of your soul that still knows my voice. The door is still open, but it is moving. Do not misunderstand me, my child. Heaven is not panicking. I am not anxious. I am not confused. I am never in a hurry, but I am never late. My clock is not controlled by the noise of the world, and my appointed hour is not delayed by the opinions of people. But the spiritual clock is real. The appointed time is real. The door I set before you has mercy written over it, but it also has timing attached to it. There are invitations that remain open only while obedience is still tender in your heart. There are moments when I call, and if you keep postponing, the danger is not that I stopped loving you, but that you trained your heart to ignore the very voice that came to rescue you. I know what has been happening inside you. I see the tiredness you do not explain to anyone. I see how distracted you have become, how many little things have pulled on your attention, how often you have said, "Not now, not yet, maybe later, maybe when I feel stronger, maybe when I am more certain." I see the secret hesitation beneath your prayers. You have asked me to speak more clearly, but I have already given you light. You have asked for another sign, but deep within you, you already know the direction. You have been waiting for the fear to disappear before you obey, but sometimes obedience is the very door through which fear loses its power. My beloved child, I have set before you an open door that no one can shut. Revelation 3:8 is not merely ink on a page for you tonight. It is a living word standing before your spirit. I know your works. I know your little strength. I know the places where you feel weak, uncertain, and unqualified. Yet I have still placed a door before you. I did not place it there because you are perfect. I placed it there because I am faithful. I did not open it because you earned it by strength. I opened it because my mercy has gone ahead of you. But hear me clearly, an open door still requires a step. Do not let fear stand at the threshold and speak louder than my promise. Do not let the fear of being wrong, the fear of being judged, the fear of losing comfort, or the fear of leaving what is familiar cause you to freeze while the appointed moment passes. Many of my children do not miss me because they hate me. They miss me because they delay me. They wait until conviction becomes quiet. They wait until urgency becomes normal. They wait until the sacred door looks like an ordinary option, and then they wonder why their soul feels heavy. My child, do not treat my warning as pressure. Treat it as mercy before the handle turns. This is why I am speaking to you now. Not to condemn you, but to awaken you. Not to frighten you away, but to draw you near. Not to tell you the door is already closed, but to tell you it is still open. There is still breath in this moment. There is still grace in this hour. There is still time to turn your heart toward me and say, "Father, I hear you. I will not keep postponing what you have already made clear." Before this night ends, quiet your soul enough to listen. If this word is touching the hidden place in you, then make a small visible sign of agreement. Like this video as a quiet witness that you are choosing to listen before the night ends. Subscribe if you desire to keep hearing messages that call your heart back to my timing and not the timing of the world. And stay until the prayer, because the final declaration will help you answer this door with faith, not fear. My beloved child, do not drift past this moment. The door is still open, but it is moving. My beloved child, hear the tenderness inside this warning. I am not speaking to you like an enemy standing over your failure. I am speaking to you like a father who sees the place where your foot is about to slip. I am not calling your name to shame you. I am calling your name because weariness has been trying to put your discernment to sleep. Delay has been trying to make your heart dull. Fear has been trying to teach you to live beside the door instead of walking through it. And because I love you, I will not whisper gently forever, while the trap ahead becomes closer than the promise before you. Sometimes love comforts. Sometimes love corrects. Sometimes mercy sounds like, "My child, do not wait any longer. Do not mistake my urgency for anger. Do not mistake my warning for rejection. Do not think that because you feel convicted, I have turned against you. Conviction is not condemnation. Condemnation pushes you into hiding, but conviction calls you back into my arms. Condemnation says you are finished, but conviction says there is still a way open. Condemnation makes you afraid to come near me, but conviction is my hand reaching toward you before the handle turns, before the moment passes, before your own delay turns an open door into a missed appointment. I am not warning you because I want to take something away from you. I am warning you because I am protecting what I have prepared for you. I am not warning you because I am angry with you. I am warning you because I see the trap ahead, and I see what the enemy has hidden beneath the soft language of later. You have expected mercy to always feel gentle, and many times it does. My mercy has held you when you were crying. My mercy has covered you when you were ashamed. My mercy has kept you alive through nights when your own thoughts became too heavy for you. My mercy has given you strength when you had no words left to pray. But mercy does not always arrive as a soft blanket. Sometimes mercy arrives as an alarm in the spirit. Sometimes mercy shakes what comfort has numbed. Sometimes mercy interrupts the ordinary rhythm of your day and says, "Wake up, my child. Wake up before you call delay, wisdom. Before you call disobedience, waiting. Before you call fear, discernment. Before you call spiritual numbness, peace." I have seen how long you have sensed this door. Do not pretend before me that you do not know what I mean. I am speaking about the obedience you keep postponing, the surrender you keep negotiating, the forgiveness you keep holding at a distance, the reconciliation you keep delaying, the calling you keep shrinking away from, the relationship you know must be placed on the altar, the habit you know must be left behind, the prayer life you know must be restored, the return to me that your soul has been needing for a long time. You have felt the pull. You have heard the inner repetition. You have known that certain conversations, certain choices, certain endings, and certain beginnings were not random. I have been showing you the door, not to overwhelm you, but to invite you into alignment before more time is lost. My child, there is a danger in saying tomorrow too many times. At first, when I speak, your heart trembles. At first, conviction is clear. At first, you feel the holy weight of what I am asking. But when the soul keeps saying tomorrow, 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 what once pierced the heart can become background noise. What once brought tears can become a passing thought. What once made you fall to your knees can become something you scroll past, something you explain away, something you promise to handle when life feels easier. This is why I am warning you now, not because my patience has ended, but because your sensitivity is precious. Do not let the voice that once awakened you become a sound you have trained yourself to ignore. There is a difference between resting and quitting. There is a difference between waiting on me and hiding from me. There is a difference between needing strength and refusing obedience. I do not reproach you for being tired. I know the weight you have carried. I know the battles no one saw. I know the disappointments that made you cautious, the unanswered prayers that made you hesitant, the criticism that made you afraid to move again. But do not let pain become a permanent excuse to stay outside the door. Pain may explain why you are trembling, but it must not become the chain that keeps you from obeying. I am near to the brokenhearted, but I also call the brokenhearted forward when the appointed time has come. Do you know why the regret of a missed door is so heavy? It is not only because something closed, it is because the soul remembers that it was invited. It remembers the warnings. It remembers the gentle unrest. It remembers the repeated word. It remembers the night I whispered, "Come back." It remembers the moment when obedience was still possible and fear was not yet in control. My beloved child, I do not want you to become an almost story. I do not want you to be one who came close to breakthrough, close to healing, close to restoration, close to freedom, close to reconciliation, close to the life of obedience I prepared, but stopped at the threshold because delay felt safer than surrender. This is not the hour to bargain with what I have already made clear. This is not the hour to ask for another sign while ignoring the light already in your hands. This is not the hour to let busyness kill intimacy with me. The spiritual clock is not cruel, but it is moving. The door is not closed, but the handle is not something to mock. I am calling you before regret writes a story I never desired for you. I am calling you before your heart grows used to distance. I am calling you before the enemy convinces you that there will always be another moment, another invitation, another knock, another night like this one. Come nearer, my child. Let this warning become warmth instead of fear. Let it bring you back, not drive you away. Let it awaken the part of you that still wants to obey me even while another part of you is afraid. I am not standing beyond the door waiting to punish you. I am standing at the door with mercy in my voice, saying, answer me, while your heart can still feel the weight of my call. Do not wait until conviction becomes numb. Do not wait until the sacred becomes common. Do not wait until the open door becomes only a memory. I am warning you because I love you. I am warning you because the door is still open. I am warning you because mercy has reached you before the handle turns. My child, the door I am showing you is not first a job, not first a relationship, not first a platform, not first a visible blessing, not first a place where people will finally notice you. Those things may be behind the door, and I know the desires you carry for provision, companionship, purpose, fruitfulness, and vindication. I know you have prayed for doors that would change your circumstances, doors that would bring relief, doors that would make sense of the years that felt hidden. But hear me clearly in the quiet place of your spirit. The first door is obedience. Before it is opportunity, it is surrender. Before it is increase, it is alignment. Before it is applause, it is the simple, holy yes you have been avoiding. My child, you keep asking me to open the next door, but you have not yet obeyed me at the door already in front of you. You keep asking for clarity while stepping around the instruction I have already repeated. You keep asking for confirmation while your heart already knows what I have touched. You keep saying, show me more, Father. Speak louder, make it plain, send another sign. But I have been making it plain, through the unrest you cannot silence, through the scripture that keeps returning, through the memory that keeps rising, through the name that keeps coming to your mind, through the conviction that follows you even into the places where you try to distract yourself. I am not withholding light from you. I am asking you to walk in the light you already have. What have I been repeating? What door keeps appearing in your spirit? What instruction have you dressed up as confusion because obedience feels uncomfortable? Is it forgiveness that you have delayed because the wound still feels too fresh? Is it returning to prayer because your soul has become too busy to kneel? Is it releasing a relationship you keep defending though it keeps pulling you away from me? Is it speaking truth where you have been hiding behind silence? Is it repentance in an area where you have asked for blessing while protecting compromise? Is it beginning again after disappointment made you sit down beside the road? Is it stepping into a responsibility you have avoided because you fear being seen, being judged, being needed, being stretched? Do not call everything confusion, my beloved child. Sometimes you are not confused. Sometimes you are afraid. Sometimes you are not waiting for wisdom. Sometimes you are waiting for obedience to become painless. But obedience is rarely painless at the threshold. It often costs the flesh before it frees the soul. It may cost comfort, pride, approval, convenience, control, or the version of your life you built without asking me. But it will not cost you my presence. It will not cost you my love. It will not cost you the peace that comes from walking with me. The enemy shows you the cost of obedience in bright colors, but he hides the greater cost of disobedience. He shows you the hard conversation, but he hides the peace you lose by avoiding it. He shows you the grief of release, but he hides the intimacy that weakens when you cling to what I told you to surrender. He shows you the fear of stepping forward, but he hides the clarity that dims every time you choose delay. There is a price to saying no to me softly again and again. It may not look dramatic at first. You may still go through your day. You may still smile. You may still answer messages, make plans, complete tasks, and appear calm to those around you. But within you, something becomes cloudy, peace becomes thin, prayer becomes distant, courage becomes postponed. The voice that once felt close begins to feel faint, not because I moved away, but because you kept placing distance between my word and your response. My child, I am not telling you this to shame you. I am telling you because I want your heart back while it can still tremble, while it can still respond, while it can still say, Father, I have delayed, but I am coming now. I know you are tired. I know exhaustion has sat beside you like a heavy shadow. I know there have been seasons when you wanted to obey but had no strength left to stand. I know the prayers you whispered with tears. I know the nights when your body rested but your soul did not. I am gentle with weakness. I do not crush bruised reeds. I do not despise small strength. But there is a difference between resting and quitting. There is a difference between letting me restore you and using fatigue as a reason to surrender the assignment. Rest brings you back to me. Quitting pulls you away from what I entrusted to you. Rest says, Father, hold me so I can continue. Quitting says, I will no longer answer because the road became hard. Do not let weariness rename disobedience as self-protection. Do not let disappointment rename delay as wisdom. Do not let fear rename avoidance as discernment. I am not asking you to run ahead of me. I am asking you to stop standing still where I have already said move. I am not demanding a grand performance from you. I am calling for a faithful step, one apology, one surrender, one boundary, one honest prayer, one act of repentance, one return to the secret place, one yes where you have been saying later. The door of obedience often looks small from the outside, but when you pass through it, heaven begins to rearrange what you could not rearrange by your own strength. My beloved child, you have asked me to bless your future, but I am touching your present. You have asked me to open what is ahead, but I am pointing to what is in front of you. Do not despise this simple instruction. Do not wait for a louder thunder when I have already spoken in the still small voice. Do not ask for the mountain to move while refusing the step I placed at your feet. This is the door, not the dream only, not the promise only, not the harvest only, but obedience to my voice right now. Stop asking for more signs while ignoring the light in your hands. The spiritual clock is moving, but mercy is still speaking. Put your hand on the door by saying yes. Walk through by obeying what I have already made clear. My beloved child, now that I have shown you the door, do not be surprised that resistance has increased around you. Do not think it strange that after the instruction became clear, your mind suddenly became crowded, your body suddenly became heavy, your courage suddenly felt small, and old fears began knocking on the walls of your heart. If the door were meaningless, the pressure around it would not be so intense. If your obedience were empty, the enemy would not be working so carefully to delay it. If nothing were waiting on the other side, there would be no need for so many voices to rise at once and say, not now, not yet, you are not ready, you have already failed, people will misunderstand. It is safer to stay where you are. My child, the enemy is not always loud. Sometimes he does not come with a roar. Sometimes he comes with a suggestion. Sometimes he comes through delay that sounds reasonable, distraction that feels harmless, discouragement that sounds like honesty, comparison that wears the mask of humility, and fear of people that pretends to be wisdom. He knows how to touch the bruise of old shame. He knows how to remind you of what happened last time you tried to obey. He knows how to bring back the memory of rejection, the voice of criticism, the face of someone who doubted you, the season when you stepped forward and felt alone. He studies the places where your heart once broke, and then he whispers that obedience will only break you again. But listen to me with steady faith. The attack around the threshold is not proof that you are unworthy. It may be evidence that the door matters. Do not confuse warfare with failure. Do not confuse resistance with rejection. Do not say, if this were God, it would be easier. Many times, the very door I appoint is surrounded by wind, because the enemy knows what will change when you pass through it. He is not only fighting where you are, he is fighting what your yes will unlock. He is fighting the freedom that will begin when you obey. He is fighting the healing that will move through your family, the clarity that will return to your spirit, the peace that will settle over your mind, the assignment that will awaken in your hands, and the intimacy with me that will be restored when delay no longer stands between us. My beloved child, many do not quit at the beginning. At the beginning, hope is strong. At the beginning, the promise sounds beautiful. At the beginning, the heart is full of zeal, and the feet are willing to walk. But almost no one gives up at the beginning. Many collapse near the end. Many drop the blessing at the final doorway. Many grow weary when the road has already brought them close. When the spiritual clock is nearing the appointed sound. When the promise feels strangely close but still unseen. The last stretch of the road is where the wind is strongest, not because I have left you, but because you are standing at the place where obedience will change what the enemy has tried to keep familiar. You are not merely walking a road now. You are standing at a doorway. This is why the familiar is pulling on you. This is why old patterns are trying to sound comforting. This is why the same temptation you thought you overcame has tried to rise again. This is why exhaustion came so suddenly. This is why small things have felt unusually heavy. This is why you have been tempted to scroll instead of pray, to sleep instead of surrender, to complain instead of listen, to compare instead of obey, to hide instead of step forward. The threshold is not an ordinary place. At the threshold, yesterday tries to negotiate with tomorrow. At the threshold, fear tries to look like caution. At the threshold, the flesh says, "Stay with what you know," but my spirit says, "Step into what I have prepared." Do not let the fear of people's gaze become a chain around your obedience. You were not created to live under the shadow of human opinion. When you allow the voice of people to sound louder than my word, you begin to ask permission from those who cannot see the door I have placed before you. Some will not understand your yes. Some will call your obedience foolish. Some will question your timing. Some will only recognize my hand after the fruit appears. But I am not asking you to obey their understanding. I am asking you to obey my voice. Let me prove you by blessing, not by arguments. Let me defend what I have spoken. Let your yes be rooted in my presence, not in the applause of those who change their minds with the wind. My child, do not despise the battle because it is uncomfortable. The enemy would not work so hard to keep you numb if your awakening were not dangerous to his plans. He would not keep sending distractions if your attention were not valuable. He would not keep pressing shame if your freedom were not near. He would not keep telling you to wait if this moment carried no weight. The intensity around the threshold is often evidence that obedience is close to unlocking what delay has guarded. The pressure is not your permission to quit. It is your signal to lean closer to me. Resist the enemy, and he will flee from you. Draw near to me, and I will draw near to you. James 4 speaks this truth into the very place where your hand is trembling near the door. So do not pull your hand back now. Do not walk away because the handle feels heavy. Do not call the wind a sign that you should return to the old place. The storm around the door does not mean the door is wrong. Sometimes it means the door is holy. Sometimes it means what is behind it will break a cycle that has lasted too long. Sometimes it means your obedience will become a memorial stone, a place where you will look back and say, "This was the night I almost quit, but mercy held me steady." If you recognize that you are at the threshold, if you can feel the pressure, the delay, the fear, the sudden exhaustion, and yet you know my voice is still calling you forward, make a declaration, even now. Comment these words as a visible sign before heaven and as a refusal against fear. I will not quit at the door. Let those words come from a sincere heart, not as a performance, not as a habit, but as a line drawn in the spirit. I will not quit at the door. I will not let delay steal my obedience. I will not let fear decide my future. I will not let shame speak louder than mercy. My beloved child, I am with you at the threshold. I have not brought you this far to abandon you before the door. The wind may be strong, but my hand is stronger. The accusation may be loud, but my word is louder. The enemy may fight hardest when your hand is near the door, but he cannot close what I have opened when you answer me with obedience. Stand still in faith. Step forward in courage. The door is before you, and I am calling you through. My child, after the loud resistance comes the quieter danger. After the wind, after the accusation, after the obvious battle at the threshold, there is another hindrance that does not look like rebellion. It looks like a busy day. It looks like one more message, one more task, one more scroll, one more opinion, one more thought you must examine, until your soul is tired from circling the same place. You may not be openly running from me. You may not be shouting no. You may still love me, still think about me, still intend to obey me. But distraction can slowly lower the volume of your spirit until the sacred door before you begins to look ordinary. Do not let busyness kill intimacy with me. Hear that as a warning filled with mercy. Do not let your schedule become the place where conviction goes to sleep. Do not let your phone become louder than my whisper. Do not let the noise of the day crowd out the instruction I have been repeating in the secret place. I am not against your work. I am not against your responsibilities. I know the life you must walk through. I know the weight of what must be handled. But when busyness becomes the master of your attention, when you have time for everything except stillness, when you answer every voice except mine, your heart can begin to close before any physical door closes. My beloved child, many doors are missed not because people hate me, but because they are too distracted to recognize me. They thought the invitation would arrive with thunder. They thought the appointed moment would shake the room. They thought obedience would be announced by something dramatic enough to interrupt every other sound. But sometimes I come as a small conviction that will not leave. Sometimes I come as a repeated nudge in the middle of an ordinary hour. Sometimes I come as holy discomfort when you are about to choose what is familiar instead of what is faithful. Sometimes I place a door before you through one sentence, one memory, one scripture, one conversation, one sudden awareness that says, "My child, this is the moment to answer me." Do not despise the quietness of my leading. Do not assume that because the instruction is simple, it is small. A sacred door can be hidden inside a simple yes. A future harvest can be hidden inside one act of forgiveness. Restoration can begin with one honest apology. Freedom can begin with one boundary. Healing can begin when you stop pretending you are not wounded. Alignment can begin when you turn off the noise and say, "Father, speak, your servant is listening." The enemy does not always need to make you wicked to make you late. Sometimes he only needs to make you constantly occupied, constantly entertained, constantly comparing, constantly reacting, constantly too full of emotional noise to hear the knock. And I see the fear beneath the distraction. I see how often your attention runs outward because you are afraid of what stillness will reveal. I see how the fear of people's gaze has become one of the strongest locks around your obedience. You wonder what they will think if you change. You wonder what they will say if you forgive. You wonder how they will judge you if you leave what I told you to leave. Begin what I told you to begin. Surrender what I told you to surrender. Or return to a place of prayer with a sincerity they cannot understand. You imagine their questions before you answer my voice. You rehearse their criticism before you take one step. You let people who cannot see the door decide whether your hand should reach for the handle. But my child, the voice of people may be loud, but it cannot carry you through the door I appointed. Their approval cannot become your peace. Their applause cannot become your covering. Their understanding cannot become your compass. If you live waiting for everyone to agree with your obedience, you will remain standing outside doors I have already opened. Some will only understand after fruit appears. Some will call your surrender foolish because they did not hear what I whispered to you in the night. Some will question your timing because they do not know the spiritual clock I have been showing your soul. Do not let passing voices waste the golden hour of your obedience. There is a golden hour in the soul, a holy window when conviction is fresh, when my word is near, when your heart can still feel the weight of the moment. Guard that hour. Do not spend it arguing with imaginary critics. Do not spend it drowning yourself in endless scrolling. Do not spend it overthinking until courage becomes confusion. Do not spend it feeding your emotions with voices that cannot strengthen your faith. Become still enough to hear me clearly. Be still and know that I am God. Stillness is not emptiness. Stillness is where your spirit remembers who is speaking. Stillness is where the ordinary becomes sacred again, where the door you almost postponed begins to shine with the weight of my appointment. My dear one, distraction makes holy things look common. It makes the repeated instruction feel like something you can handle later. It makes the door look like just another option among many. It makes conviction feel inconvenient instead of precious. But this moment is not an accident. The fact that your heart is being stirred again is mercy. The fact that the same instruction keeps returning is mercy. The fact that you feel unsettled where you once felt numb is mercy. I am waking you before the sacred becomes invisible to you. I am calling you back before your attention is scattered so far that your obedience becomes only an intention you never lived. So guard your eyes, guard your ears, guard your heart, guard the hour I have placed before you. Turn down the noise long enough to answer me. Do not let busyness kill intimacy with me. Do not let the fear of people's gaze keep your hand away from the door. Do not let passing voices steal the strength of a permanent yes. The door is still open, but you must see it as holy. The instruction may be quiet, but it is not weak. My voice may come gently, but it carries authority over your future. Come away from the noise, my child. Stand before me with an undivided heart. What I am showing you is sacred, and if you will guard your attention, you will recognize the door before delay makes it look ordinary. My beloved child, I know the silence has wounded you in places no one else can see. I know there were days when you prayed and heard nothing, when you waited and saw nothing, when you obeyed and still felt as if the road remained closed before you. I know you wondered whether I had forgotten you, whether you had missed me, whether your tears were falling into empty air. But hear me with the part of your heart that still knows my voice. My silence was not indifference. My silence was not rejection. My silence was not abandonment. My silence was preparing you for the door you thought was delayed. There were things I could not place in your hands when your soul was still leaning on the wrong supports. There were rooms I could not let you enter, while your heart was still too easily ruled by approval, fear, hurry, and the need to prove yourself. There were doors you cried for that I closed, not because I despised your longing, but because I was preserving you for the appointed door. What felt like denial was sometimes protection. What felt like delay was sometimes mercy. What felt like being overlooked was sometimes me hiding you from what would have broken you before your roots were deep enough to stand. My child, do not call the waiting season wasted. Do not look back over those years and say, nothing happened. Much happened in the hidden place. Endurance was being formed when you kept walking without applause. Discernment was being sharpened when the wrong doors looked attractive, but did not give peace. Humility was being planted when you had to depend on me without having an explanation to offer people. Deeper trust was being born when you learned to worship without immediate answers. You wanted the door to open quickly, but I was teaching your spirit how to recognize the difference between an open door from me and a shortcut from fear. Every tear you shed, I kept. Every prayer you whispered when your voice was tired, I heard. Every quiet act of obedience that no one celebrated, I recorded. Every time you forgave and still felt the ache, every time you stayed faithful while feeling unseen, every time you chose not to return to the old pattern though loneliness tried to pull you backward, every time you opened your hands again after disappointment taught you to close them, seed was going into the soil. Tears are not wasted in my kingdom. Hidden obedience is not buried for nothing. The field may look empty before harvest, but beneath the surface, life is moving where your eyes cannot yet measure it. You thought I was late, but I was deep. You thought I was silent, but I was working beneath the noise. You thought nothing was changing because circumstances did not move, but I was changing you. I was teaching you to hear me without spectacle. I was teaching you to stand without being held up by people. I was teaching you to trust my character when you could not trace my hand. I was teaching you that I am never in a hurry, but I am never late. My clock is never slow. It only runs on a different rhythm than yours. And what I appoint does not depend on the impatience of your fear. My dear one, some of the doors you mourned were lesser doors. Some of the relationships you begged me to restore would have drained the oil from your lamp. Some of the opportunities you thought would save you would have chained your identity to performance. Some of the places you wanted to enter would have required you to leave behind the tenderness I was building in you. I closed what you could not close. I removed what you did not have the strength to release. I allowed certain disappointments, not to punish you, but to keep you from settling outside the place I had prepared. And now shame is trying to speak, at the very moment mercy is calling. Shame says you are late beyond redemption. Shame says you waited too long. Shame says you are too broken, too inconsistent, too tired, too stained by old mistakes to answer me now. But shame is not your shepherd. I am. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified. You are not beyond restoration. You are not too wounded to obey. A bruised reed I will not break, and a smoking wick I will not snuff out. I know how to breathe life into what looks weak. I know how to strengthen the hands that tremble near the door. Do not mistake preparation for punishment. Do not mistake hiddenness for failure. Do not mistake unanswered questions for an absent father. I was there in the nights you cried yourself quiet. I was there in the mornings you rose without strength and still chose one more step. I was there when people misunderstood your silence, when they judged your pace, when they assumed nothing was happening because they could not see the work I was doing within you. My child, I was not only preparing a door for you, I was preparing you for the door. So now, when the door stands before you, do not let the pain that trained you become the excuse that stops you. Do not say, I suffered too much to move. Your suffering taught you how to move with me. Do not say, I waited too long to respond. The waiting sharpened your hearing for this very moment. Do not say, I am afraid because of what closed before. The closed doors taught you that I can protect you even when you do not understand. The tears became seed. The silence became schooling. The rejection became refining. The delay became preparation. My beloved child, the waiting season was not wasted, but it must not become your dwelling place. I did not prepare you so you could stand forever at the edge of obedience. I did not strengthen you in secret so you could refuse the public step of faith. I did not bring you through pain so you could bow to fear when the appointed door finally appears. The spiritual clock is moving, and mercy is still speaking. Look again at the door before you. The soil of your tears has prepared your feet. The hidden years have trained your discernment. The silence has made you sensitive to my voice. Step forward now, not as one who has been forgotten, but as one who has been prepared. My beloved child, before tonight ends, answer what I have been repeating. Do not let this day close with the same instructions still lying unanswered in your spirit. Do not treat holy conviction as background noise. Do not let the word I have spoken again and again become something you step over while you promise yourself you will return to it later. This moment is not an accident. The stirring in your heart is not random. The uneasiness you feel when you try to ignore what I have said is not condemnation. It is mercy. It is my love, pressing gently but firmly against the places where delay has begun to harden into habit. What have I been repeating to you, my child? What instruction keeps returning when the room becomes quiet? What name comes to mind when you pray? What habit loses its peace every time you bring it near my presence? What relationship have I asked you to release, repair, forgive, or stop worshiping as though it were your source? What apology have you postponed because pride told you to protect your image? What commitment have you delayed because fear told you that obedience would cost too much? What door have you kept studying when I already told you to reach for the handle? Do not wait. Do not harden your heart. Do not negotiate with fear. Do not ask me for another sign while ignoring the light I have already given. Do not say, Father, speak to me, while your hands are closed around the very thing I asked you to surrender. Do not say, guide me, while you refuse the first step I already made clear. My child, I am patient, but patience is not permission to remain divided. I am merciful, but mercy is not an excuse to keep postponing what love has made plain. When you hear my voice, do not harden your heart. Today is still filled with grace, but grace is calling you into movement, not sleep. The first step may be smaller than your fear has made it seem. I may not be asking you tonight to understand the whole road. I may be asking for one prayer spoken with honesty, one message sent with humility, one confession made without hiding, one decision placed before me with open hands, one boundary drawn where your soul has been bleeding, one surrender whispered in the secret place, one return to worship after a long season of distance, one yes spoken in private before it ever becomes visible in public. Do not despise the smallness of the step. In my kingdom, a small act of obedience can carry the weight of a doorway. You have asked me for clarity, and I have given you enough light for the next step. You have asked me for peace, but peace does not always come before obedience. Sometimes peace waits on the other side of your yes. You have asked me to remove the fear, but sometimes fear loses its power only after your feet begin moving. You have asked me to make it easier, but I am making you braver. I am not calling you into panic. I am calling you into love. I am not pushing you because I am angry. I am drawing you because I want you close, whole, aligned, and free. My dear one, beware of the illusion of endless time. Tomorrow may bring another day, but it may not bring the same tenderness. Tomorrow may bring another hour, but it may not carry the same clarity. Tomorrow may give you another chance to breathe, work, speak, and decide, but it may not carry this same holy invitation in the same way. The spiritual clock does not move according to your excuses. The appointed moment is not controlled by your comfort. There are times when I knock gently before the heart grows numb, before delay becomes normal, before conviction becomes a memory, before the sacred begins to feel common. This is why I am speaking with urgency. Not because I want you afraid of me, but because I do not want you far from me. Not because I am waiting to punish you, but because I am warning you before delay steals tenderness from your spirit. There is a difference between needing rest and refusing response. There is a difference between being weak and being unwilling. I do not reproach you for trembling. I do not condemn you for feeling afraid. I know the cost you are counting. I know the memories that rise when you think about obeying. I know the places where your heart says, what if I step forward and I am hurt again? But I am not asking you to walk alone. I am asking you to trust the one who has never left you. Do not let fear become your counselor tonight. Do not let shame become your interpreter. Do not let the voice of people become louder than the whisper of my spirit. Do not rehearse every possible criticism until your courage becomes exhausted. Do not ask the crowd to approve what I spoke in the secret place. If I have told you to forgive, begin. If I have told you to repent, turn. If I have told you to let go, open your hand. If I have told you to return, come home. If I have told you to begin, take the first step. If I have told you to stop, do not bless what I am asking you to leave. My child, delayed obedience slowly teaches the heart how to ignore me, and I love you too much to let numbness become your shelter. At first, conviction feels strong. Then, if it is postponed, it becomes easier to explain away. Then what once made you weep begins to barely move you. Then the thing I warned you about begins to feel normal. That is not freedom, that is sleep. Wake up while mercy is still gentle. Wake up while your spirit can still feel the weight of my voice. Wake up while the door is still open and the handle is still within reach. Before tonight ends, come before me without performance. Tell me the truth. Say, Father, I know what you have been repeating. Say, Father, I have been afraid. Say, Father, I have delayed, but I do not want to become numb. Say, Father, help me take the first step. I will meet you there. I will give strength to the trembling hand. I will give grace for the humble confession. I will give wisdom for the boundary. I will give courage for the message. I will give peace for the surrender. I will give light for the next step after this one. My beloved child, do not wait for perfect feelings. Do not wait until every question is answered. Do not wait until fear disappears. Obedience is not the absence of trembling. Obedience is choosing my voice while trembling. The door before you is not asking for your perfection. It is asking for your yes. And before this night closes, let your yes rise from the place where fear has been sitting. Let your yes interrupt the delay. Let your yes become a line in the spirit. Let your yes tell heaven that you heard me. Let your yes tell fear that it will not govern you. Let your yes tell your own soul that you will not sleep through the hour of mercy. I am calling you because I love you. I am warning you because I am near. I am repeating myself because your freedom matters to me. Answer me now, my child. Answer the instruction. Answer the conviction. Answer the door. Before tonight ends, step toward what I have been showing you, not as one being chased by punishment, but as one being drawn by love into alignment, healing, and life. And my child, when you step through the door, do not think first of what your hands will receive. Think first of where your heart will stand. What is behind the door is not only a blessing to hold, not only an opportunity to celebrate, not only a visible answer that others can see. What is behind the door is alignment. It is the quiet miracle of your will bending again toward mine. It is the restoration of intimacy where fear had created distance. It is peace returning to the room of your soul. It is a clearer path beneath your feet, not because every question has vanished, but because you are no longer walking against the direction of my voice. I have set before you an open door that no one can shut. Remember this, my beloved child. No person can close what I have truly opened. No critic can cancel what I have appointed. No delay can destroy what I have preserved. No enemy can erase what I have written over your life. But you must still walk by faith. An open door is not entered by admiration. It is entered by obedience. You can stand near it, talk about it, pray about it, dream about what may be beyond it, and still remain outside if your heart refuses the step. I am not showing you this door merely so you can feel encouraged. I am showing you this door so you can come into order with me. Do not measure the value of this door only by how dramatic the blessing appears. The world looks for spectacle. The world wants noise, applause, proof, sudden elevation, and visible triumph. But I look deeper. I look at the heart that used to tremble under people's opinions and now chooses my voice. I look at the soul that used to postpone obedience and now says yes while still weak. I look at the wounded place that used to rehearse resentment and now releases the debt into my hands. I look at the child who once needed everyone to understand and now rests because I understand. That is blessing. That is harvest. That is a miracle many people overlook because it does not always shine on the outside first. My dear one, The harvest coming from this door was planted long before this night. The seeds were in your tears. The seeds were in your hidden prayers. The seeds were in the times you obeyed when no one clapped, when no one noticed, when no one knew how much it cost you to keep your heart soft. Do not say the seed is dead because it spent time underground. Seeds do not die because they are hidden. Seeds become roots in the dark, and what I planted through your endurance is coming into season. The soil of waiting has not swallowed your obedience. It has held it until the appointed time. There will be fruit, my child, but let me define the fruit. Yes, I can open a visible opportunity. Yes, I can restore what was broken. Yes, I can bring provision, connection, favor, and doors that cause others to know my hand has been with you. But the greater fruit is this: you will no longer be ruled by fear the way you were. You will no longer bow so easily to delay. You will no longer let resentment interpret your future. You will no longer make the voice of people the judge of your obedience. You will walk cleaner, lighter, steadier, closer. And from that alignment, every true blessing can flow without becoming a chain around your soul. I know you have wanted vindication. I know you have wanted those who misunderstood you to finally see. I know you have wanted the argument to end, the accusation to fall, the hidden truth to rise. But hear me with wisdom. I will not always prove you right through arguments. I will not always call your critics into the room and explain what they refuse to understand. Sometimes I prove my faithfulness through fruit no critic can deny. Sometimes I answer not by defending every detail of your story, but by making your life bear witness that I was with you. Let me prove you by blessing, not by striving. Let me answer through peace, through growth, through stability, through a harvest that could not have come from your strength alone. But do not misunderstand the door. Entering it does not mean every battle ends. It means you are now standing in the place I appointed for the next part of your formation. There may still be resistance. There may still be questions. There may still be days when courage must be chosen again. The door is not an escape from dependence on me. It is an invitation into deeper dependence. Do not step through and then assume you can walk without listening. Do not receive the blessing and lose the intimacy. Do not let the harvest become louder than the one who watered the seed. Stay close, stay humble, stay watchful. The same obedience that brings you through the door must carry you beyond it. My beloved child, alignment is protection. Alignment is peace. Alignment is power under surrender. When your life comes into agreement with my will, you are not weaker, you are covered. You are not losing yourself, you are being restored to who I formed you to be. The door before you is valuable because it brings you back into the place where my voice is first, where your spirit can breathe, where your steps are not scattered by panic, where your future is no longer being negotiated with fear. This is why I have been warning you, not because I want to take joy from you, but because I want to bring you into the joy that cannot be stolen by circumstances. So walk through, my child. Walk through without demanding that the whole road explain itself. Walk through without waiting for every person to bless your obedience. Walk through without turning the promise into an idol. Behind this door is not merely something I want to give you. Behind this door is a deeper nearness with me. Behind this door is the order your soul has been aching for. Behind this door is the harvest of tears, the fruit of hidden faithfulness, the peace of a heart no longer divided. I have opened the door in my timing. No one can shut what I open. But now, beloved, choose faith. Choose alignment. Choose the step that brings you into the place where every true blessing begins. Now, my beloved child, quiet your heart before me. Let the noise fall away for a moment. Stop scrolling. Stop running. Stop filling the silence with another voice when I am asking you to bring the repeated instruction into my presence. Do not rush past this prayer as though it were only the ending of a message. This is a holy place. This is where the warning becomes surrender. This is where the hand that trembled near the handle is strengthened. This is where the heart says, Father, I have heard you, and I will not pretend I did not know. Bring it now. Bring the instruction I have been repeating. Bring the decision you have postponed. Bring the habit you have defended. Bring the fear you have obeyed. Bring the name, the wound, the apology, the boundary, the surrender, the step. Do not hide it from me. I already see it. Do not dress it in excuses. I already know the truth beneath the words. Come simply, come honestly, Come as a child who is tired of standing outside the door while mercy is calling from within. Almighty God, my beloved Father, I come before you tonight with an open heart and trembling hands. I confess that I have delayed when you were calling me to obey. I confess that I have asked for more signs while ignoring the light you already placed before me. I confess that distraction has pulled my eyes away from your voice, that busyness has tried to kill intimacy with you, that fear of people has become louder than your instruction, and that spiritual coldness has made me slow to respond to what once moved me deeply. Father, forgive me for postponed obedience. Forgive me for treating your appointed moment as ordinary. Forgive me for standing near the door and still refusing the step. Have mercy on me, Lord, not because I deserve another chance, but because you are good. Not because I have been consistent, but because your love is faithful. Not because my strength is enough, but because your grace is sufficient for me. Open my eyes to recognize the door you have placed before me. Let me not confuse your invitation with pressure, your warning with punishment, or your timing with an interruption. Give me discernment to know what is from you and what is only a counterfeit path dressed in urgency. Teach my spirit to feel the difference between the door of obedience and the shortcut of fear. Father, give me courage to obey without needing applause. Give me courage to say yes even if no one understands. Give me courage to move when the crowd is silent, when people question me, when my own emotions tremble, when the enemy whispers that I will regret surrender. Deliver me from the need to be approved by those who cannot see what you have spoken in secret. Let your gaze matter more to me than their opinions. Let your voice become weightier than criticism, comparison, rejection, and the fear of being misunderstood. I surrender the habit that has kept me outside the door. I surrender the attachment that has divided my heart. I surrender the fear that has counseled me for too long. I surrender the old pattern, the hidden compromise, the delayed apology, the bitterness I have rehearsed, the comfort I have used to avoid conviction. Father, take from my hands what I have been holding tighter than your will. Break the agreement I made with delay. Break the agreement I made with numbness. Break the agreement I made with shame. I do not want to be almost obedient. I do not want to be almost free. I do not want to become an almost story at the final doorway. And Father, I pray for the weary one listening right now who feels late, broken, ashamed, and unsure. I pray for the one who says, I should have answered sooner. I pray for the one whose hands feel too weak to reach for the handle. I pray for the one who thinks the door is no longer for them because they have stumbled so many times. Let mercy speak louder than shame. Restore clarity where confusion has clouded the mind. Strengthen weak hands and feeble knees. Breathe life into the smoking wick. Remind your child that a bruised reed you will not break. Let them feel that your warning is not rejection, but love arriving before the heart grows cold. Protect me, Lord, from every distraction assigned to steal this golden hour. Protect me from scrolling away conviction, laughing away seriousness, sleeping through obedience, and filling my mind with passing voices while your spirit is calling me near. Protect me from confusion, from counterfeit doors, from emotional impulse that looks like faith but is not rooted in your word. Protect me from every voice that competes with your instruction, every fear that tries to delay my yes, every lie that says tomorrow will carry the same tenderness as tonight. Place a watch over my heart, place a guard over my attention, place your peace around my steps. If I must speak, give me humility. If I must release, give me strength. If I must repent, give me honesty. If I must begin again, give me faith. If I must walk through with trembling, remind me that obedience is not the absence of fear, but the choosing of your voice above fear. Tonight, Father, I answer you. I will not quit at the final doorway. I will not waste the golden hour of my soul. I will not let delay turn holy conviction into spiritual sleep. I will not stand forever outside what you have opened. By your mercy, by your strength, by your spirit, I choose obedience. I choose alignment. I choose the door you have opened, not the comfort fear has offered. Lead me through, keep me close, and let my life come back into agreement with your will. In Jesus' name, Amen. My beloved child, now seal this moment with a visible yes. Do not let the prayer rise from your lips and then disappear into the air without a mark of obedience from your heart. I am not asking you for a performance. I am not asking you to impress anyone. I am asking you to make a simple declaration that agrees with what your spirit has just prayed. Sometimes, a small action becomes a line in the soul. Sometimes a few words written with sincerity become a memorial before me. Sometimes the hand that types a declaration is the same hand that will soon reach for the handle. Write these words in the comments with faith and reverence. Lord, I will not miss the door you opened. Let it not be empty words. Let it be your answer before the night ends. Let it be your refusal to keep delaying. Let it be your declaration that fear will not govern you, distraction will not numb you, and shame will not keep you standing outside what mercy has opened. Say it as one who has heard the warning. Say it as one who believes the door is still open. Say it as one who is ready to obey the light already given. And if you need prayer, my child, do not carry the burden alone in silence. Leave your prayer request. If you need courage, write it. If you need clarity, write it. If you need restoration, write it. If you need strength to obey what I have been repeating, bring it into the light. There are other weary hearts listening, other hands trembling near the door, other souls asking for grace to take the next step. Let this place become a gathering of faith, not fear, a place where my children remember that they are not alone at the threshold. Share this message with someone who is tired, someone who is delaying, someone who has almost quit near the final doorway. Send it to the one whose spirit has grown heavy and whose attention has been pulled away from my voice. Do not assume they will hear the warning elsewhere. This moment may be mercy reaching for them through your obedience. Subscribe and turn on notifications, not as a habit without meaning, but as a steady commitment to keep returning to prayer, obedience, and my appointed timing. Let your heart stay awake. Let your feet stay steady. Let your ears stay open. Let your hands stay ready. And may you step through the door I have placed before you with courage, humility, and faith.